When you think the cards are down and you gotta fold, you don't have to, but you have to work for it. You have to stay determined and stay focused and motivated. It's not just gonna fall in your lap.
Drafted by the Giants way back in 1998, Ryan Vogelsong first took the San Francisco mound in a markedly different era, one dominated by Barry Bonds and the team's move downtown from Candlestick Park. A different era in Giants history also meant that he was a different pitcher. At his first low point, Vogelsong was anything but an all-star. He was traded to Pittsburgh and, in 2004, had the highest ERA of any pitcher in Pirates history with 20 or more starts.
In the past, I really struggled with staying focused and just being in and on every pitch mentally.
Then, the stomach punch. Tommy John surgery for a blown-out elbow. And with that, Ryan Vogelsong said goodbye to the major leagues.
So, I'm sitting at home really just wondering if I'm going to get another chance to play baseball again as a professional. And I didn't really know at that point where my career was going or if it was going to be over.
Enter 2 years of baseball in Japan, 1 winter in Venezuela, 2 failed minor league stints, and 2,412 days later, Ryan Vogelsong resurfaced a winning pitcher with a club that gave him his first shot against, as chance would have it, his other former team, Pittsburgh.
I think everything's just kind of come together here at one time. Years of playing and trials and tribulations and being in the right situation at the right time.
Then, almost 13 years after he was drafted by the Giants, Vogelsong finally made his first home start for the Orange and Black. The result? A shutout win and standing ovation from 42,000 fans on Mother's Day, worth every minute of an almost 5,000-day wait.
I was obviously disappointed when I got traded, and the chance to come back here was always in my mind. And the standing ovation when I walked off was the best experience I've had as a professional to this day.
Unlike his first time around, Vogelsong isn't a kid anymore. He's just days away from being 34 years old now, and he's come from the baseball dumps to lead San Francisco with a 6-1 record into the All-Star game with some of baseball's best numbers. Not bad for a pitcher whose career ERA hovered near 6 entering this season.
It's something that I've, obviously dreamed about growing up, but never thought was ever going to be a reality. It's hard to talk about sometimes. I feel like I don't want it to end, and if I talk about it too much, it's going to. But it's awesome. It's unbelievable. I don't even know how to explain it. People are like, what are you doing? I'm like, I have no idea. I don't care. I hate talking about it, I'm like,
you don't want to try to figure it out?
I don't want to jinx it.
For the Vogelsongs, the journey to Ryan's first All-Star game has been an odyssey. But after 10 years of baseball irrelevance, the pieces are finally falling into place.
Ryan Vogelsong, told by the game so many times, go away. And he kept showing up at the door, and now he's the Giants' best story of the year.
I don't know so much that anything's changed personally in how we run our day-to-day lives, but I think that we're a lot happier.
2 earned runs or fewer in 8 of Vogelsong's 9 starts.
All of a sudden, it's just been amazing.
I'm seeing a pitcher who's just completely different than his first time around. He's just pitching with such confidence.
I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it hasn't.
This is what a big league city is about right here. I mean, you definitely don't get a view like this in Fresno. What's happening now is what you dream of when you're playing in the backyard. This is what you think big league life is going to be like.
Yay! As a man in general, Ryan, to me, even, is just different.
There you go. Good hit. Run the bases. Run the bases. My life and baseball have kind of gone at the same time here. A lot of it has to do maybe with our son. High five. Yeah, there you go. Having somebody that you're responsible for all the time other than yourself. And it makes you grow up quick. Yeah.
The last month and a half, 2 months of what's gone on right now, makes the last 10 years worth it.
Who's this? Who's that? 10 years ago, if a guy would have came up to me and said, to get to the point where I'm at today, you're going to have to go through all these things to have this, without a doubt, I'd do it.
Now let's meet the National League All-Stars.
Ryan's standing out there.
Ryan Vogelsong.
After everything that's happened, after all the years of just watching him work so hard and not live up to what he was working for, is just amazing.
Never in 1,000 years did I think I would have this opportunity, but she always believed that it was going to happen.
I don't think he would have appreciated pitching the way he is now 5 years ago in Pittsburgh. I think it took all the years of struggle and not doing well and wondering why, and then all the years out of America to come back and then to realize how amazing and great this is, and just being here is. Last year, I think, was the toughest year, personally and career-wise. We came back from Japan with high hopes. On New Year's Eve, he signed with Philly, and it was the best day ever. He was going to play for his childhood team, and we just could not have been more excited.
But just as their fortunes seemed to be changing, things took a turn for the worse.
In June, my dad had a massive heart attack. It wasn't even a couple weeks later that Ryan got released. My dad was Ryan's biggest fan. He was at his first game with the Pirates. He was at his last game with the Pirates. He wore his jersey everywhere he went, long after Ryan was with the Pirates.
He was probably the only guy in Pittsburgh that had a Vogelsong 22 jersey.
And wore it every day.
And wore it every day.
Getting yelled at. Dude, Bogey sucks. What are you wearing that jersey for? I remember when Ryan signed with the Giants, and we went in, we told my dad, and my dad had a trach-in, so for that last month he couldn't talk. He had to type things. He typed in, you know, MLB, and long story short, my dad was trying to say, I'll get better and I'll get out of here if you make it back to the big leagues. And Ryan kept saying to him, all right, deal, I'll make it to the big leagues if you get better. And he didn't.
Hey, Coco. This is Daddy. Just wondering what's going on.
I had found voicemails from my dad when we lived in Japan. Every one of those messages has something from him talking about Ryan's pitching.
Is Ryan going to pitch in that game? I'm assuming he is. I hope he is. Hope he throws a perfect game. Yeah, at least a no-hitter.
Every time Ryan steps on the mound, I think today's the day he's going to get the perfect game. Well, maybe the no-hitter. Everything happening right now, I know that God's letting my dad see and letting him know. And my dad would be the most proud person in the world.
When we say last year was tough, I mean, that's pretty much it.
I mean, not pitching to his potential, being released twice, and then having that happen, I think last year was not fun. So this is so much better than anything we could have ever dreamed of.
Good start for Vogelsong, one away. 2 out. Good start for the home team. Another strikeout for Vogelsong, his fourth, 2 out. He is on. With 1 out, nobody on. Another strikeout for Vogelsong, number 6. 7 strikeouts for Vogelsong. Another strikeout that ties a career high, number 8. Here's an 0-1. Right side for Belt. Vogelsong gets around his first jam of the night. 2 out, and that is a new career high for Vogelsong. 9 strikeouts on the night. Runner at second, 2 out. And that should be handled by Blanco. Back, well in front of the track.